She thought calling the cops would scare me into silence, but after the 12th false report, I made one smart move and watched karma slap her with a fat fine she'll never forget. If you've ever had a neighbor from hell or fantasized about putting a noisy, nosy nightmare in their place, then buckle up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what would you do if someone weaponized the police just to annoy you? 21 years ago, I was 24 years old and living in what I can only describe as an apartment building built from wet tissue paper and regret. 18 units stacked side by side, all seemingly held together by hope, because the soundproofing practically non-existent. You could sneeze and the guy in 3B would say bless you before you even inhaled. I lived alone, quiet guy, worked a tech job during the day, came home at night, made some dinner, maybe watched a movie or played some music at a reasonable volume. Nothing wild. But my next-door neighbor, an older woman, probably in her late 60s, hated me with the fiery passion of 1,000 HOA board members. Let's call her Gertrude, because it just fits. She and her husband lived in the unit next to mine, and from day one, I knew she was particular. You ever met someone who seems to need a problem to feel important? That was her. A snob without a castle. A queen of passive aggression. The first time the cops came to my door, I was watching The Matrix, not blasting it, just enjoying the experience. Knock, knock, knock. I opened the door and boom, 2 officers. Polite, but clearly annoyed. Got a noise complaint, one said. I blinked. This is the volume I always watch movies at. They listened. Literally stood in my living room for a second, and one of them said, yeah, that's not allowed at all. They left with a shrug, but before going, they gave me that awkward cop look. Like, can you just turn it down a little bit, For her, I did for that night. But then it happened again, and again, and again, and again. 12 freaking times. This woman called the police on me. Sometimes for watching a movie, sometimes for music. Once, I swear, I had the TV on for background noise while I cooked pasta. And still, knock, 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 noise complaint. Each time the officers found nothing. They always admitted it wasn't loud, and yet every time they look at me with tired eyes and ask if I could turn it down just a little bit more. Imagine being policed not for being loud, but for daring to exist next to someone who thought they owned silence. By the 12th visit, I'd had it. I mean, full-on, red-faced, jaw-clenched, internal scream kind of fed up. I opened the door and didn't even flinch. Let me guess. Gertrude? They nodded. I rubbed my temples. Look, officers, be honest. Isn't there something in place for this? Like, can someone get fined for abusing emergency services? Because this is harassment at this point. They both paused. One of them raised his eyebrows like the idea just clicked for the first time. The other one actually chuckled. They didn't give me a clear answer, but they definitely walked away thinking. And that was the last time they ever knocked on my door. Weeks passed. No cops, no knocks, no sudden complaints. The silence was almost unnerving. Then one afternoon, I ran into the janitor. Great guy. Real salt of the earth, always fixing broken lights and making small talk while unclogging someone's terrible plumbing decisions. He leaned in and said, "Hey, you know that lady who kept calling the cops on you?" I braced myself. Yeah. He grinned like he just watched karma do a somersault. She told me she got slapped with a huge fine for filing false reports. Apparently, she tried to lie to them one more time, and they weren't having it. I blinked. Wait, really? He nodded. They warned her. She didn't listen. The image still makes me smile. Gertrude marching back into her apartment with her brittle pride and a wallet a few $100 lighter, slapped by the very system she tried to weaponize. She had no clue that the cops finally saw through her lies, or maybe that my one calm question sparked that little fire. But the best part? From that day forward, she never called again. Not once. She avoided me like I was the actual criminal and let me enjoy my movies, my music, and my pasta in peace. Some people don't want peace. They want control. And sometimes the best revenge isn't dramatic, it's quiet, subtle, legal. Let karma handle the heavy lifting while you keep your receipts and stay calm under pressure. If this story made you smile or reminded you of your nightmare neighbor, drop a like, hit subscribe, and share your own revenge stories in the comments below. What's the pettiest or smartest way you've ever served justice? Thanks for watching, and remember, don't start a war if you can't handle the paperwork.